Okay, welcome back, everybody. Another week of training. This week I was just kind of getting over being sick, especially Monday, Tuesday here. Uh, was nothing serious, just kind of head cold sort of thing, a little bit of sinus stuff, as you get this time of year. But with that being said, training went well enough for the condition I was in. Got Monday session here, heavy pressing, 2 sets of 5 at 215. For my first competition of the year, I've got a barbell, excuse me, jeez, a barbell press off of blocks. So basically a jerk, if you will. So just getting comfortable working on my push press here. Will eventually be switching this over to my push jerk to refine that skill and look to get a big number on that. I will be competing in the 105 class for that competition. Just trying to hold a bit more size for as long as I can, but we'll be cutting down. We'll be cutting back down for a show in the end of May. So obviously going to start slowly stripping some weight off, but going to try and hold on as long as I can, and because I like eating. I moved over to some low incline close grip, 155 here. I believe I did a couple sets of 10, maybe sets 12. Can't quite remember. Then I did finished up here with some chest supported rows into overhead extensions. Uh, as I was saying this day, I was a little sick, so didn't quite have the energy to fully get all of my work done. But however, pushed myself enough in my main movers that I was pretty gassed out by the time I got to the end of the session. Um, Jeez, excuse me. Not much else to say for the day. Again, I will be competing in end of March, so I'm going to start getting a little bit more specific with my event training. Some of the main movements I'll be doing will be more focused on getting ready for those specific events. But for now, can continue just getting a bit more volume in, staying as big as possible, and yeah, just kind of staying ready for anything that's going to be thrown at me this season. Tuesday, squat day. I've got the Buffalo bar with chains. So my goal for this block of squatting is to build some more endurance. So I've got what is that? 265 plus my chains there. So 80 pounds of chain. And just working on sets of 10. Obviously you can see I'm not kind of fully locking out. I am trying to get as deep as possible. But kind of just trying to keep the tension on the muscle, almost a bit more of a bodybuilder style squat. Going beltless with these. Again, was a little bit sick this day, so trying to brace as hard as I can against a belt just gave me a pretty good headache. So looking to push these a bit heavier and really get into the suck with these to try and build the quads, build the endurance in the legs and hips. So believe I followed these up with some 13-inch axle pulls. In March, I'll be doing a 14-inch power bar deadlift, but I think the axle bar at 13 will do nothing but help carry over to that. So I'm going to stick with that for a little while before getting more specific and tying that in. So other thing I wanted to just mention about these squats is I usually squat with chains, especially when I'm going for higher rep sets, like this. Like these squats you're seeing, I like this because it allows me to get the heavier weight still at the top while still being light at the bottom, allowing me to push a little bit farther into a set than I would be, this would be mid 300s if I had the chains were converted to straight weight. a little bit of my ballpark quite yet, but in time when I build back up to that, I will be no problem and will be able to get this out with straight weight. Don't know if that made any sense, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So really enjoy using chains, just in general for movements. These elevated deadlifts, as I was saying, I'll be doing an elevated deadlift this year in my show in March. However, my main mover for my main focus on deadlifts is deficits. You'll see later in the video my Friday sessions doing some deficit deadlifts. My competition in May, we're doing a descending height deficit. So gonna try and get a little bit more used to that. And again, it'll have nothing but positive carryover to my deadlift overall. Finish this day with a whole bunch of pull downs. Kind of the same situation as Monday. I was just kind of sick and didn't feel like setting up a couple different things for accessories. So did my squats, did my deadlifts, and I think I did maybe 4 or 5 sets of 10 to 15 on the pull downs. Got this new attachment off Amazon, and the neutral grip is really feels really nice, especially for low rows. I feel it simulates the sandbag or stone pick really well, especially having your hands cupped around like that. Uh, just puts you in a position that carries over very well to rowing in a sandbag or picking a stone or even a keg, something like that. So if you're not using an attachment like that, I highly recommend. I know I'm late to the game on that, but if you're looking for a reason, well, there you go. I gave you a reason. Thursday was starting to come around, sickness wise. So got a bit more volume in this day. Started with this incline log press. I can see there. Had to kind of grind it out, but felt really good. Don't really have a reason for that. It's just something that I want to throw in. Stay familiar with the log, because again, it is coming up in my competition in May. So it's a way to keep it in, but still keep the weight lower, but still get the feeling of a pressing a log. Main volume work today was done with on the bench, again using chains, using these fat grips that I also recently got, just to give a bit of a deficit. Excuse me. Give a bit of a deficit, a bit more range of motion. I'm trying. You can see I press with a fairly narrow grip, and I'm trying to keep a majority of the tension on my triceps, but that little bit of deficit definitely puts a bit more strain on the pecs and front delts. So obviously something that I can continue to work on is getting a bit more mass up top, which helps to, one, rest a log on, and just overall helps pressing, and kind of looks cool. Finished up main volume with some strict press. Same idea as my squats, not really fully locking these out, except for this one where I had to breathe. Just trying to get the volume on the shoulders. You can see the weight is fairly light, I believe 115. I've said it before, but strict press is not a good lift of mine. I do a lot better when I can incorporate my legs, get a lot of good pop from my lower body in my pressing. So something I'll continue to work on. But for now, that is what we're working with. So here, finishing up with some low rows, again with my attachment that I got. You can see I'm kind of arched over, so that again is going to target the upper back and biceps, which again helps carry over to things like sandbag and stones. Then had these overhead tricep extensions, bit of a different kind of variation I was trying out. Was working on the angle of my elbow with those, just trying to see what felt the best. Last thing of the day was some close grip pull downs. So these I feel a lot in my kind of lower lat, and of course the biceps. can see here, just kind of doing some partials, trying to get that full burn going, and then finished up with some ab wheel. So watching this video back, I realized that I'm kind of keeping my hips a bit too high. I'm rounding my upper back a bit too much. All I'm trying to do with these is simulate how I would brace in a squat or deadlift. So I'm trying to keep obviously my lower back and hips kind of aligned, set my brace at the top, and just squeeze really hard. Those were especially difficult after doing the pull downs because my lats were pretty toasted, but overall, very helpful movement. Friday session, I got my deficit deadlifts here, so just about 1.5 inch deficit. These moved really well. I was super happy. I got a total of 3 sets of 5 at 425. Just joined these two videos together just because it was, again, same thing over and over. Trying to get some different angles with my videos. Kind of realized that I'm always kind of showing the same sort of angle. So just trying out some different things, help keep the video fresh, and kind of gives me some different looks of my positioning and things like that. Follow these up with some pinned Zercher squats against chain. So I'm using the chain here to almost for speed work to ensure that I'm forcing keeping the speed up all the way through the rep. So obviously, as you get more chain off the ground, becomes heavier, forces you to work harder. Especially here, you can see it. Main back movement for the day was these chin-ups. You can't quite see in the video, but I'm sure you can hear it. I had hips attached to, or my chains attached to my hips. Jeez, can't speak today. But you can see these got really hard, really fast. And I am getting my chin over the bar on most of these. But the video makes it look like I am cutting them short. So you can see here, just trying to grind them out. I finished those up with stepping all the way up and then controlling the eccentric. Again, just helping get some more control and get some more volume on the back. Saturday session was training pretty early in the morning, so it's definitely still tired from my Friday, where I got in the gym a bit later. But still got some good work in. I'm doing these front squats with the straps. So I found these, it's almost like a zombie squat where you would have your hands straight out. Forces you to keep your back angle very upright and really push the knees out, putting a lot of tension on the quads. Because obviously if you try and lean over like you would in a back squat, bar is just going to roll right off your delts. And that's not a good way to squat. I then followed these up with some kind of bag marches. Didn't feel like just walking in circles around my little platform area. So did a couple sets of marches at 30 to 45 seconds. And then the last movement was was these hang power snatches. I'm trying to teach myself how to do them. Doing it with a power bar is not ideal, but it's what I have to get the work done. Doing these to get some more volume in the upper back and kind of hopefully carry over to my throwing ability. Something that's been a weakness for me in the past, but we will continue to build. So that is all for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, catch you next week.